this.
All this. Let's see. So
we just had a conversation here like 3 minutes ago, and I was like, Dashaina, it's like 3 minutes to go. We gotta hurry up. We're gonna be late. And she's like, I'm always late. And I'm like, no, I can't be late. If I say I'm gonna be there, I gotta be there. Anyway,
says
we're here now.
Who doesn't like to be scheduled?
Well, yeah, that's why I don't like to be scheduled. Because if I'm scheduled, if I say I'm gonna be there, I am there. That's why I'm like, don't schedule me for something unless I really need to be scheduled for it.
All right, I have to get the microphone. You can just follow on.
Oh, dude, you're making this short. Trying to show my pics. Is that what's going on?
Oh, I have to adjust it.
All right. So, someone said something about when I'm making faces. Apparently, anyone who makes silly faces is autistic. Oh, I can see myself on the screen. I want to make faces.
Can I mic you up?
Yeah, you can mic me up. Yeah, like what am I gonna do here? Well, I'm just being mic'd. Just sit here, like bored. Like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna do anything. No, I'm gonna make faces.
Check. Can you guys hear Jaimie?
Make faces. I'm gonna make some faces. Hey guys, I gotta practice my faces. I mean, how are the kids gonna think I'm cool if I can't even make cool faces? Jeez. All right. You know what the funny thing is?
Everything.
No, it's like we met someone recently who saw my videos, and she was like,
"Thank you, Mr. Landfill."
And she was saying, "Oh my gosh, I was so concerned about meeting you, Jaimie, because I was afraid you were just gonna come in and dominate every conversation and be all like, oh, the whole time. But you were just like chill, man." And I was like, "Yeah, of course I'm chill in real life. I'm like, the camera's on. I'm being a presenter. I'm trying to like."
So speaking of presenting, can I start our show?
Well, I was thinking I'm supposed to start our show.
You start our show, but put the disclaimer.
Okay, put the disclaimer. Let's hear it.
Hey guys, happy Sunday, happy Easter. So Jaimie,
you're like way prettier than me.
Yeah, it's all makeup.
I need to get some.
It's because I went to makeup.
I need some eyeball
morning.
stuff.
Yeah, you didn't get here early enough to.
All right, sorry, I'm interrupting you. Go ahead. Hello,
hi guys,
everyone.
Happy Sunday, happy Easter. Hope everybody's having a great day so far. Just to put in a disclaimer, please remember to keep the comments kind and positive. And if you wouldn't answer the question yourself, then probably don't ask it. So, without further ado.
I think it's actually without further ado.
So I'm just going to be over here filtering through comments while Jaimie answers.
Well, I thought you had questions for me, so I don't sit here running out of things to say.
I was just about to tell you.
Because I can't talk for an hour. Well, maybe I can.
So recently it has been brought up a couple times on my channel and yours.
Well, wait, I think I should start every week. Remember, we were saying I should start maybe not every week or whenever I do this. I should start something by saying something about Adventure Builder Club stuff. So I'm gonna say like 5 minutes, not even like 3 minutes, on some aspect of Adventure Builder philosophy that I happen to care about a bit.
Questions.
Then we'll get to questions.
Okay.
So.
But wait, we have to start with our show. Don't we have like some kind of show?
Oh, is it like?
Show? What are we calling our show?
The Jaimie and Dashaina show. Okay, that's enough.
Okay.
Okay, anyway. So something about Adventure Builders Club.
Yeah.
This is my philosophy that I try to live my life by, and it kind of keeps me on the right track. And I thought I would say something about the name Adventure Builders Club, like why I named it Adventure Builders Club. Don't worry, this will only take a few minutes. So I did choose the words purposely. What are you reading?
No.
Anyway,
I'm just up on this, so
I'm not going to read that. Anyway, I chose the words Adventure Builders Club with after I put some thought into it. No, you can put me on the side. Yeah, you're fine. So the term adventure is because life is an adventure, and an adventure is something where you're going and doing something. There's probably some level of danger, and you're trying to not just sit back and be a spectator. You're actively participating, and that's a huge part of life. So adventure builders actively participate. And I should also mention that these days a lot of people seem to think adventuring is like going on a cruise, where you sit there and swipe your credit card and drink drinks and look at things, places where you could have adventures while you're resting. And there's nothing against cruises or anything. I think that's probably a great thing to do if you're resting. And it is a rest. That's not an adventure. Adventure is like getting involved, you know, taking some risks, whatever. Because like being alive is a risk. Like just the state of being alive is a precarious position, and you can't try to live your life being safe. I mean, be as safe as you can, but there's no actual safety. All right, now builders. Why the word builders? First, the S is possessive, not plural. Well, it's plural too, but it's mostly possessive because the Adventure Builders Club belongs to the builders. There's no supreme commander of the Adventure Builders Club. It's just whoever's doing the stuff, it belongs to them. So if you want to be an adventure builder, you follow the club, but you are also the leader of the club. There is no real leader. It's just everyone is in there. And now builders.
So it's not like all hail Jaimie.
It's not all hail Jaimie. There is no boss, and there is no higher authority who can come along and do what they do in a lot of religions, which just says, "Oh well, now you're gonna have to pay us money."
Wait a
and
minute.
Anyway,
is this a religion?
It's an ideology. You can call it. I mean, whatever. Go get your dictionary. Look up the term religion. I don't know. Maybe.
I think it's an ideology.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. And builders, because in any decision you have in life, you can be constructive or you can be destructive. And if you want to have a good life and a good world around, destroy things. And it takes so much more work to build things. So if you keep building on things you've built in the past, you keep making a better and better life and things get better. So builders. And then the term club, I kind of wanted to pick something that makes me think of like kids clubhouse, you know,
and
it's like a
stuff.
kid. Yeah, like don't take it too seriously. Like I think it's a super important thing, this whole philosophy and the virtues and everything, which I'll get into some other point. But I also think it's important to never take anything too seriously. You know, we're here for this.
Does that include stuff that you say?
Yeah, don't take anything I say seriously. No, but we're here for this little moment in life and then we're gone. Like don't get too worried about, you know, one tiny little thing that went wrong. Just do your best in life and have fun. Like you're in a club. We're in the clubhouse. I kind of think of my house as a clubhouse. All right. What are your questions?
Okay.
Do you have any questions about that?
I do have some questions, but I'm not sure if they're specifically related to that. But I did notice that somebody actually just asked specifically about our live streams, and if when I go back up to that and
whatever the question is, like we just started doing them. I don't even know if I'm doing this every week. I know, but I'm just saying.
He thinks that regular live Q&As are a great idea. And if y'all are interested in boosting, you know, community engagement and stuff, but he's dubious.
Well, he said Patreon subscriptions
and
too.
Patreon
that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
No, but I'm dubious of your long-term tolerance for the live audience format. For example, like some parasocial fans who hang on to every little thing and insist on pestering you with feedback in real time, which may be frustrating and harder to deal with in a live format.
I actually find it much easier to deal with in this format because like I can't deal with comments anymore once it got above a certain level of negative comments or like, you know, criticism, because people would say something and then I'd respond to that person and then like 3 comments later I'd be like, oh, it's the same thing, okay, let me respond to that one, and then I get the same thing over and over and over and I'd just be like, I can't answer this same question like 150 times. But in this, someone can ask, 450 people can answer, the baby's asleep. Shh.
Yeah, they can actually hear you really well.
Oh.
You could probably whisper and they can
I'm used to it when my camera's
That's
a crappy microphone. Oh, God.
But I've actually tested this, not to cut you off, but
Someone's going to comment that you're cutting me off.
But I wanted to say, because this is important.
All right.
Is that when I do my book readings every Saturday, I always check to make sure that people can hear me, and they told me that I could whisper and they can hear me really well. So
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
So I could do like the ASMR.
Dude, I can't look at the screen and look at my face without making funny faces.
I know. So anyway, so you were saying.
Now I feel like I need to put up a big mirror in my house so every time I walk by it, I can be like,
just to get it out of your system, so you don't do it the whole time we're doing live.
Yes, I think that's what it is. I don't have any mirrors at my house.
I'm telling you, that's what it is.
I don't have any mirrors or anything. Like I don't normally see myself.
I do these 3 times a week, so like for
like
me,
I think it's hilarious. Like look how ridiculous my eyes look when I get big. I don't know. I find it. Okay, what was I even talking about? You threw me off. Oh yeah, when I find it much easier to deal with interacting with people on the live, because like 450 people can ask the same question, and I can just say it once, and then they can all get it, which is I think it just works much better than trying to type out or copy and paste the same answer over and over.
Okay, so I agree with that.
Yeah, he likes to make funny faces too.
Yeah.
Funny faces are
Okay, so I
great.
want to say...
An Adventure Builders Guild. See, if I called it Adventure Builders Guild, it might be taken too seriously.
Thanks, Joshua. We appreciate it. Well, we'll see you hopefully next time, and you can catch the replay for sure. So, guys, I know a lot of people probably asked a bunch of questions before in the comments, but if you could just go ahead and ask them starting now, we can go ahead and answer them, and then I don't have to scroll back through all of the stuff, which I will scroll back through to read them later. Just right now, it'll be easier. So,
I think it would be.
You're so welcome.
I think it'd be really cool to make my house like a guild hall at some point. If we had like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, our community would have to be pretty developed at that point. I wouldn't want just anyone coming into my guild hall. But then we could have like, quests up on the guild hall board. If someone is like, I need some pineapples, and they can put up, I need some pineapples, 10, I'll pay this many dollars. And then someone can take the quest and say, well, I'm growing pineapples, and then go get the pineapples.
Well, we could do like well, for right now, we could do like an electronic version.
He wants to know if we watch Joe Rogan. I don't really watch anything. However, I have caught little snippets of Joe Rogan here and there, and I think his show is pretty cool. I like that he has a long format where he talks to people, and it's not just like, quick snippets of catchphrasey garbage. Like it's like he has a real conversation with people, which I very much appreciate. But I don't really watch anything like that regularly because I don't have internet at my house anyway.
Okay.
But I like to do stuff in real life.
Solar at the cathedral.
There is solar power at the cathedral.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Steven.
I only put
to see you here.
one solar panel on the roof so far. And it's enough to run my computer and make peanut butter once in a while. Oh, I need to make peanut butter, and it hasn't been sunny.
And I just remembered something that I learned from my live last week or Friday or whatever, is that when we're answering questions, we should definitely make sure that we answer complete sentences, because not everybody is actually able to see the live.
Did I? I think I did that.
Well, no, I just
remembered. Sentence? Someone was saying we should do a podcast like that.
I know.
But like it would be.
No, some people want us to do a podcast, like me and you.
It would be kind of more like what's his face? What's that funny? What's that hilarious guy's name that some people really hate him? He has red hair and his wife's name is Nina. Why do I remember that part? I think it's Nina.
I don't know.
Someone's gonna remember.
Somebody will.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, he doesn't have guests on his show. It's actually just him and sometimes his wife just talking for like an hour or hours.
I don't know if I could do that.
He's hilarious though. Dude, you do this all the time.
Oh yeah, that's
true. And honestly, when I'm talking with you, with Bill Burr, that's who it. Bill Burr has that. Yeah, totally.
I know
Bill
what
Burr.
you're gonna say, and I agree.
Yeah, like we get along with each other so much better when we're doing something like this.
Yeah.
Like we can't talk to each other like this in real life.
No.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
The greatest game of all time, chess.
Yeah, so yes.
Aurora plays
chess.
Does Bellatrix too?
Bellatrix is working on it, and as a matter of fact, Aurora had a chess tutor for a while. He came and visited
Tiger
with
Belly.
us,
I know what he's talking about because I've seen that for a moment.
I am trying to finish answering a question.
Go on. Why did this keep disappearing?
Because it has a timer, and I don't set it. It just disappears. Like when a new person pops something up, it comes up, and then you read it, and then if nobody else responds, it disappears. So like,
yes,
I wish
I'm
it
Max
just stayed
Hedger.
up.
No, I get what you're saying, but it would be nice if the comments just stayed.
I know. I don't know how to get it to do that.
All right, what were you talking about?
So,
Squirrel?
Hi,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, we just totally squirreled.
I know, you totally squirreled me. So Aurora does play chess, and she has participated in a couple tournaments. She has not won them, but she's done pretty good. She's held her own, and she had a chess tutor for a while who actually came to visit us for a few weeks and was math tutoring and chess tutoring with her, and it was really fun for both of them, I think. So
he likes Go more than chess. There was actually a point in time about 25 years ago when I got kind of into chess because I had a roommate who was like serious chess dude.
Yeah.
And he had a friend who was like ranked something in the country or something, and I was playing them. And at that point, I could play and tie that guy. I could never beat him, but I could play and for some reason, I could just level it out.
Actually,
Anyway.
It's funny. I wanted to say the chess thing is that so when the kids were first learning how to play it, they actually then took it a step further, and with those mega blocks, they made their own type of chess game that was not chess, but it had kind of complex rules, and it was called something hippo.
Yeah.
What was it called? Hunting hippos.
Hunting hippos. Cool.
It was pretty cool. They used to play that with car cannon. So I just want to say, guys, that if there's a question we've missed and we haven't answered it, and you see us getting to a point where we could answer another question, go ahead and repost it. It's fine if you have to ask it a couple times.
I don't want a community on my island. This person asked if I still want a community on my island.
I don't think you ever
wanted no, originally, my original idea for living on an island was to get a bunch of friends together, buy an island together, and then we'd all live on the island together.
Yes.
Well, everyone else kind of just disappeared, and I did it by myself.
And the island was much bigger.
Well, yeah, it would have been bigger, but since we did it by ourselves, now you're cutting me off.
I'm
now
sorry.
I know what they're talking about. So I ended up I bought a few little tiny islands here by myself, and now there's a little growing community of people who live on their own land. Well, what's-her-face lives, I don't want to talk about specific people, but someone lives on one of my islands, and there are a few other cool people in the area who bought their own land. So I don't want to have a community on my island because I bought a little tiny island that's just for me. Well, not tiny. I mean, it's a good size for me. It's big enough for my cathedral, my plants. There's a little running track and stuff. The kids and I ran around up on the mountain this morning. The mountain takes about, I don't know, I could run up in 5 seconds.
4 good giant strides. I do want to
Oh, no, it's more than 4 giant strides.
I do want to say that Joe is right. He's actually one of the moderators on my channel.
Joe's right about what? Full
William
sentence?
Glasser, I was getting into that, is a moderator on one of my channels, and he just posted a comment saying that he can answer a lot of the questions, and that's true. So, if your question's not getting answered, a lot of times Joe will pop in and post the answer in the chat if we have missed it. So, thank you, Joe, for that, because generally speaking, he's, I would say, 99% of the time right with his answers.
I cut you off more, apparently. I don't know. We might have to keep score. I don't want to keep score.
Should we post a little bloop thing right there?
No, I don't care.
Wouldn't that be funny if they could do that? Bloop, and then it just put a little...
No scuba diving.
So...
Well, that time I was cutting you off because you said this, I already knew what you were saying, and you were just still saying it.
Yeah, but they don't know what I'm saying.
But a little bloop.
But you're in my mind, so you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I love the chainmail, yeah.
Yeah, so...
I started wearing... So, a month ago... Oh, I need some music.
Okay, Enigmatic, can you email us at theadventurebuildermovie@gmail.com so we can talk about music development in the future, please?
Well, there is one thing I would still want to do with my movie. If I was going to re-thing it, is to put music in it.
Yeah, well, that's why I was
Because I think it's basically done, but I mean, I might throw a couple extra little scenes in. But if I was, if I could get music in it, yeah, I would redo it and put it up again.
Yeah, that's why I thought that guy.
And I don't think I have music.
Oh my God, Jaimie, did you just say you couldn't do something?
I'm not saying I couldn't do it. It's just the amount of time it would take me to get some good music. And I play around with music a little bit. It takes me a long time to get something good because I'm no, and anyway.
I get it. I mean, I
think I did good music on my video game, some of it, but then some of it is I'm kind of I didn't really get that. So my music skills are kind of unreliable. I would have to do a lot more to get good.
So
and I don't have time to get into that.
Actually, I was gonna say for me, that's the biggest issue is I love editing my videos and I love to do all the stuff in my videos. I just don't have time.
He's asking about, I actually really enjoyed editing the movie.
Is it fun?
But I don't have time to do it normally in every video.
I love that part.
But anyway, he's asking about scuba diving.
Oh, yeah.
I don't scuba dive, but I can hold my breath a long time. So I just...
Well, I would say that to answer the question about can we do an underwater cam, if somebody's willing to send us one...
No, I have one.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I did some underwater stuff years ago.
I didn't even know you still had that camera.
I think it still works. I'm pretty sure. But you know, the problem with anything with a lithium battery in it is like skin diving. If you don't charge it regularly, like basically if you don't keep taking care of the thing, you know, the battery just dies, and then you go to turn it on. What was that?
He sent me an email.
Oh, good.
Good.
Yeah, I would love to put music in my movie. Someone said something.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be willing to risk putting my tablet in a baggie and sticking it in the water, since it's like the only electronic thing that I have. Somebody just was asking about, suggesting putting it in a baggie. That's a good question, John.
When did the concrete floor get laid in the cathedral?
And what's the purpose of
maybe
the
like
geodesic
6 months ago now?
Interior of the roof?
When did I put the floor down? About 5 or 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of the last things I did before I moved in.
And
then, what's the purpose of the geodesic dome inside?
Oh, yeah, that's been asked a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't answer that last week, did I?
No, because it was like...
No, this is an easy thing to answer. So, in my house, the cathedral, there's a concrete dome. It's like concrete, styrocrete, doesn't matter. And then on the inside of that is a steel pipe frame that is inside there. And if I knew I was going to build the steel pipe frame, I would have done that before putting the concrete thing up, because it would have made the concrete thing go a lot easier.
Why would it have made it easier?
Because I could have climbed on it.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like out there, like hanging like on this. Oh, it was precarious.
Why did you think of that?
No, I thought of it. I just wasn't sure if I was going to do it, because I was like, I don't know how long this is going to take. Like, I kind of want to do it. I don't know. I just need to keep going with this concrete and not lose my momentum. So I built it. Anyway, but once the roof was up, but then I was like, I want to hang a rope. Oh, there's nowhere to hang a rope. Yeah. And then I was like, wait, what if I need to get up there, or what if we want to play soccer football on the 3rd floor when I get the 3rd floor in, and I don't want the ball smashing against, the concrete. Yeah. I need somewhere to hang netting or something. And I was like, there's like 1,000 reasons to put a steel pipe frame. Right. And then I built the steel pipe frame, and it only took, I don't know, and I think it was maybe, shut up. I think it was maybe like a week between like going to get the materials and, mashing them and cutting them and drilling all the holes and bolting it all together. It took about a week to do.
Can I ask you a question about that? When you're done.
But then once the steel frame was up there, I was also thinking, well, that's nice, because now if there's an earthquake or something lands on the house, or for some reason that the dome breaks, this steel frame will catch it, from caving in.
So somebody was asking...
If there was a terrible thing that happened, but...
So somebody was asking... are you able to, do you feel like safe attaching things directly to the concrete, like in terms of like weight, like it holding weight things, or like, I don't know if I'm asking this correctly. But
I wouldn't want to do that.
Like, and having the steel frame allows you to be able to basically circumvent that, like not have to worry about where.
Yeah, if I was going to attach something to the concrete dome, I would probably drill a hole through it and then put a big washer on the outside and a rubber thing to try to make sure water doesn't get through. It's just, just asking for trouble. So having the steel frame there makes it so I can climb around, do monkey bars. I can attach whatever I need. I can hook up my movie screen there, have swinging ropes and climbing ropes. Oh, I'm so excited about the gymnasium. That's going to be so cool. Can you share any new ABC projects in the pipeline? Oh, man. In the pipeline.
Before you start talking about that, so you can think about that for a minute, I just want to also mention, guys, if we miss your questions, it's not because we're just picking specific people to answer. It's because we genuinely may not have seen it. So please make sure...
Wait, stop doing that, though, because now we can answer them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people kind of... Yeah.
Okay, so...
Okay, here's a question.
No, wait.
Okay, considering the climate, Jaimie could have built something underground to be cooler. My house isn't that hot, and the temperature isn't actually that hot here most of the time. Yeah. Like in Florida in the summer, it's just sweltering hot.
That is so hot.
But we're close enough to the equator that we don't really have a summer and winter, so it stays like 80 degrees or 25 degrees, depending on your Fahrenheit and Celsius.
25 to 27.
But like, it's always comfortable in the shade. And then my house is made out of styrocrete, and the styrofoam insulates really well, so it doesn't get that hot. Okay, so what projects do I have in the works?
We have the kid car.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of little things.
I know.
I mean, a kid car. I want to build a new boat. I want to build a metal boat.
Because you don't have enough boats.
I know.
You need at least 18.
But like now, like all the boats I've built so far have been like outside, like hiding under some tarps while I'm trying to do stuff. Now I actually have an inside place big enough to do some stuff. Oh, dude, thanks. That's super cool.
Matters. Thank you so much.
Dude, $10. Someone just sent me $10.
Just donated us $10.
You know what I could do with $10?
That was really cool. That's the first one we've gotten.
That is the first one we've gotten.
Okay, so wait.
Okay.
So we're talking about projects.
Well, does the styrocrete shed water? No, but that's why I put a mortar on the outside. If the water gets to the styrocrete, it goes right through. But the outside layer of mortar, sheds the water.
Oh, the podcast that Enigmatic was talking about was the Bill Burr Monday Morning podcast, apparently. The one you're talking about with the single guy.
Yeah, Bill Burr. Cool. Bill Burr's hilarious. He's not what you'd call politically correct or socially appropriate. So some people get upset. He's just hilarious. Anyway.
So many things it's funny that we're trying to not interrupt each other.
Shut up! You like that anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, projects.
No,
so
we're not allowed to make penis jokes apparently.
Oh jeez.
Did you know that?
You can't say the word
no,
penis?
I'm not allowed to say penis.
You can't? No.
I can't also...
You were talking about...
penis being big, either.
You were talking about penis.
Manner.
Look, there's no point in advertising it here. No girls watch this.
I know, I'm sorry. But apparently saying something about it is a problem.
All right, moving on. Oh, we're getting so much. Why, you just did that. Okay, anyway. I do want to build an aluminum...
very serious now.
An aluminium boat. Yeah. Bill Burr is actually very socially minded, besides being so gruff. He understands that you can make jokes about things, but that doesn't mean you're a dick. And it also doesn't mean that you think that everything you're saying... What's Jaimie packing? See, now, great. Okay. So I want to make... I want to make an aluminium metal boat. And there's a few reasons. One, I actually have a place that I can build like a big boat inside in a, not being, and like 1% to 3% of girls, right? Watch this. Okay. This one, remember this one.
Okay.
But a lot of people have asked if I could make a boat not just with garbage so that people could actually, kind of have plans and build one themselves. So if I were to make a metal boat, I would buy, the sheets that you buy and show how to put it all together and everything like that. But, yes.
Carcanon, somebody said hi to you. It's Joe. Do you want to say hi, Joe?
Plus, I've had all these years of, building boat experience and testing them and all this stuff. And I have a pretty good idea of like a super, super good boat.
Your mascot's a squirrel.
My mascot is a squirrel going like this.
Okay, so...
It would have to be a GIF because he'd have to be like,
Wait,
it couldn't be a static.
Last week? I can't even remember what it was.
The meme I wanted to make last week. I can't do it loud because the baby's asleep. But it was like, if you missed a question, you rewind and go back and look at it yourself or something like that.
Yeah, it was way better. But anyway, did you want to answer the question about the bandsaw?
The question about the bandsaw. Okay, so I haven't built...
Complete question. Answering.
I'm answering. The question is, am I going to build another bandsaw? I'm explaining. So I haven't built the second or the third floor in my house yet, and I'm going to build them out of wood. And I could, don't laugh because I'm going to start reading this.
I'm not laughing.
You were laughing.
I'm not laughing.
No, you're interrupting me.
I was just noticing that Jim's Equipment Shed said that his wife is also watching.
Jim's equipment, eh?
Yeah.
Now we need to know about, we don't need to know about his equipment too.
I know.
So I need to build a second and a third floor in my house. I need to block them out. And I'm going to build them out of wood. And I could take my chainsaw and just go cut all the wood. Or I could build a lumber mill, which I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to build a lumber mill at my house. I'm going to take my chainsaw into the jungle and find the logs and cut them into pieces I can move and drag them out to my island. And then I can cut them with a lumber mill using solar power, and then I don't need all this gasoline, and yeah.
Steven's the one sending me a drone.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I don't want to build a bandsaw mill. I want to build a swing mill. For anyone who doesn't know what a swing mill is, it uses a circular saw blade. So you can cut your cut like this, and then it's a swing mill because you can swing, you can rotate the thing, so you can do horizontal cuts or vertical cuts. So you can lay a log down, and you don't have to move the log at all. You can just like cut like this, and then come back cutting like that, and cut like that, and cut like that, and cut out boards. And because you're using a circular blade, not a bandsaw blade, you can, like, your cuts come out like really even and flat and good. I know you can get really good cuts with the bandsaw, but they're never going to be as smooth as they are with the circular saw blade. And the other thing with the bandsaw is you have to keep sharpening it all the time, and if it's not sharp enough, the blade starts wobbling, and you got to sharpen it again.
You have more versatility with the swing blade also.
Well, the one thing you can't do is you can't cut as wide boards with the circular saw blade, because you can only cut, half. Half minus the thickness of the thing.
Can we talk about water? I'm sorry, I don't mean.
Well, there's one more advantage to using the circular saw blades, which is they have carbide tips. So that you don't have to constantly sharpen it. It lasts a lot longer than the bandsaw blades, which are, something you can sharpen. They're a lot softer. Swing blade mills are cool.
Jeff Krupp, who wanted to come visit us, I think, or had mentioned it, he's trying to get his wife to be on board with that. You should come. Jeff, what's your wife's name? I'll tell her she should come.
Okay.
We can hang out.
What was the next question?
The next question was about waterproofing the roof. A bunch of people would like to know, because you mentioned you had an idea last week, and didn't really get into it that much. Okay. We had other stuff to talk about. So.
Well, actually, the idea that I had then looks like it's not going to go through.
Yeah.
So again, I've got this big concrete dome, and with concrete, it gets little cracks, and there's little hairline cracks. So there's a few drips in my house, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but I kind of have to pay attention to where I put my computer, for example. It would be nice to have no drips, right?
Yeah,
so I want to,
awesome.
I want to waterproof a big dome, big concrete dome. And this is something that's been on my mind for years. So anytime I come across someone who has some expertise in building or concrete or anything, I always kind of throw the question at them, like, how would you waterproof a concrete dome? And the best answer I've got so far is like paint something on and reapply every X number of years.
Or whatever it is.
Every year, every 5 years, every 10 years, but it's like a keep reapplying thing.
Right.
And I'm trying to do everything long term. Like, I'm trying to build things once and make it so it lasts a really long time, even if it takes me like 10 times as long to do it the first time. Painting something on is easy and fast, but then you have to keep redoing it. So
gonna go play downstairs?
The plan I think I'm going to end up doing,
right, so you can stay here or you can go downstairs,
is I'm going to make dragon scales. I'm missing so many questions right now while I'm explaining this.
It's okay. We'll
come back. I'm going to dragon scale the roof. Yeah. Have I told you this?
Yeah, you told me. We talked about this.
So basically, let me see something. Let's say Ludwig the space dog. This is the concrete surface. I'm going to smear some mortar on it like this. Okay, let's say this is where I'm going to build the thing. I'm going to smear concrete mortar on here, maybe 1 meter by 1 meter. And I'll make it at an angle like this, like point down for water reasons. And then I'm going to take a sheet of plastic and lay it on there. And I'm going to use the plastic with the string reinforcement, so it's a little rougher. And then I'm going to put mortar on top of that too. But that layer is also going to have like fishing net or something like that to make that top layer kind of stay together. So if it cracks or anything, it's not going to fall apart. Oh, no, anyway, there. No, I'm not blocking it. So a smear of mortar, a sheet of plastic, and then some fishing net, and then another smear of mortar. And the fishing net will overlap the top, so it'll actually stick. It'll be stuck to the building. So even if this concrete tile doesn't stick to the plastic sheet at all, it'll be held by that fishing net or whatever on the top edges. And then the next the next shingle on top of that, or the next dragon scale, will actually hold down the fishing net on the next layer. And that way there will be a whole bunch of just, I'm calling them dragons because the kids are always talking about dragons, and that's what I think about. And they're going to look like giant dragon scales. All these dragon scales will be there, and they'll be able to shift a little bit and move around. And I'm exaggerating a lot.
And I'm just checking, the material that you would be using to make these tiles is concrete, right?
Yeah, just cement and sand. So,
yeah.
See, he's just saying just tar the roof.
No,
see, that's
why a lot of people just said that. And
why not just tar the roof? This is what I was just talking about. Like, and tar the roof, but then I'm gonna have to redo it every.
You actually said something that was relevant to that.
You don't want to use aluminum with cement because the aluminum or aluminium will disintegrate over time, as far as I understand. I'm going to live in a dragon egg. Yes.
Okay, so somebody was just recently asking about...
another person said I could put pond liner over it, but again, I mean,
yeah.
No, the pond liner will degrade in the sun, and that's a problem with a lot of this stuff. No,
because we're doing a live video. But if you would like to have a word,
so
you can take it downstairs.
The problem with putting coatings on the roof of a dome is it's exposed to the sun all the time, and this is what I was saying about reapplying something every 5 to 10 years or whatever.
Just put your hand, stop her.
Oh, little baby. You don't see her head.
Yeah.
Oh, I want my baby. She just ran away with the baby. Oh, she's putting some clothing on the baby. Yeah, gold leaf. That would be beautiful.
Somebody was just asking a question, Lappy Top, I think, if you scroll up a little bit,
about
power and batteries and water.
Here's the thing. There are a lot of things that I could put on the roof, like copper sheets, brass, gold, or whatever. I don't have like $1 million. This concrete dragon scale thing is not expensive, and the top surface is sand and cement, which is fine in the sun. All the plastic membrane is protected from the sun and like sandwiched between layers. It's like I can do this without it costing a ton. It'll be a fair amount of work to build it all. Yeah, chewing gum, one mouthful at a time. Yeah, that would take too long.
Okay, so can we move on to some other
Undercoat for cars. It's going to last a certain amount of time, and then, okay, fiberglass the roof. That was a possibility. Car can't stop.
Little buddy, you want to come down and play with
I kind of wanted to fiberglass the roof, but you can't use polyester resin with cement because the polyester resin reacts with the cement, so you have to use epoxy. And I got an estimate for doing the roof, which was $10,000 just for the epoxy, not even counting the fiberglass and everything. I don't have 10,000. Okay, fire clay tiles. That's another possibility, but how do I attach them to the concrete tiles that I can leaf roof over the cement? No, because the leaves will disintegrate and I'll have to keep reapplying. See, I'm trying to do something on the roof that's gonna last like 100,000 years, like not 100,000, but like 100 or 1,000. Like I want this thing to last a really long time.
Now, when you say things lasting a really long time, does that mean like you would never have to maintain it, or does that mean like, could you expand on that?
What does it mean I'll never have to maintain? Just to put a tarp on it. See, that's useless because it would just disintegrate in less than a year. Yeah, we're getting...
Okay, I have a question right here. Have you considered, Lappy Top asks, have you considered making a water tower as a big battery, filling it with solar energy and an electric pump?
Hi, Stinky. Yeah, actually, on our one biggest piece of property, there's a stream there, and this is something that's not in the near future. It's not on my super radar yet, but it would be really cool to put a ram pump in that stream, have it come up. There's a hill there, and maybe I can find a spot where there's a big depression or something, but somehow fill up some big thing and then have, a pipe coming down from that runs a generator. I think that would be super cool.
Yeah.
But first I need to get plants growing and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of other things.
So this question, Skill Me Up says, I would like to know about your interest, ideas, or plans for recycling plastic and making new projects utilizing these materials.
See, this is why it's good to have you here. I don't want to do these alone because then it's good. You can kind of keep track of the things. Metal dragon scales is the only permanent solution. Well, that's not true. Anytime you say something is the only thing, you gotta think twice about that. Okay, recycling, plastic, and stuff like that.
Like upcycling stuff. Like what do you do with like your extra plastic and things like that?
Well, I would like to know about your interest, ideas, plans for recycling plastic and making new projects utilizing these materials. All right. Well, obviously with styrofoam, I'm making styrocrete, and I can build a lot of other things with that: floating docks, other domes, walls of my house, stuff like that. And then other plastics. So here's my garbage situation at my house right now. Any paper stuff, I just use to light fires.
So that includes stuff like paper packaging, cardboard.
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say I use it all for lighting fires. All the paper bags from like cement bags, I take those off and I flatten them out and I use them to draw pictures and stuff.
That's a good idea.
So I have this big giant like paper pad that's kind of like ripped, but it's rectangular.
Is that paper? Like
it's like it's just brown.
Well, some people
paper
might not
bag.
know what it is, so I'm just asking.
It's just like heavy duty brown paper.
Yeah.
Because they put the like 100-pound bags of cement in this paper, and that's all it's in. Anyway, I use those as paper, and if there's any boxes I get or anything like that, I'll use them to draw on or build stuff. Or my kids always want to build models or stuff like that. Anyway, any kind of paper stuff is easy to deal with. Right. And the last resort, when I get down to pieces that the kids have already cut up and stuff, I use it to just light fires and stuff like that. Now, plastic packaging, the bane of human existence. Like, we are just filling the world with plastic packaging.
But
so I try to limit the amount of plastic packaging I get.
I would say try to pick products based on like if they have packaging or not sometimes too.
And try to buy like one big package as opposed to 400 little packages like that.
And then we can use the bags or the containers.
But anyway, I have a box at my house that is just plastic bags.
Yeah.
So, I'm not inundated with plastic bags yet or anything, but I've got this box that's, at some point going to be full, and I'm going to be like, okay, I need to do something with this. So, I don't know, I'm open to ideas of like, melt them down, do something with them.
Some of those things you can turn them into like plastic yarn and make things out of them, which I've done before. So
I'll use one, but I get them way more than I can use them so far.
Let's see what else we got going on in here.
But if anyone has any cool ideas of things you can do with like plastic bags and stuff, but don't send me like 150 links to the first thing that comes up on Google's, which is precious plastics. I've seen it. I got it.
So would your roof hold your weight?
Yeah, I can walk on the roof.
Have you done it yet?
Oh, I have not just gotten up there and strolled around. No, but like I've pushed on it. Like,
how do you get up there?
You don't.
No, I mean how do you get up to your like to do the plastering part on your?
Oh, that I'm gonna have to figure out. Okay, so I've got this roof, and I feel like this is just roof day.
Yeah, roof day. Roof.
Okay. Anyway, okay, so I've got this big concrete dome roof. It's 40 feet across, which is like 13 meters ish, and it's 15 feet tall in the middle. I don't know, like however many meters, you figure that out. And I want to put a coating up, put dragon scale shingles on this. So I'm going to have to get everywhere on the roof. Now there is a ledge going around the lip.
How big is that ledge?
It's like a gutter. It's about that wide.
What? So 15 inches?
Dashaina's terrible with dimensions. It's funny.
I know that's not 15 inches.
Anyway, so it's wide enough to walk on, but like you got to pay attention so you don't fall off. So I can stand on that ledge and reach up as far as I can reach. After that, I'm going to have some kind of thing to get on so I can reach higher on the roof. And when the roof gets high enough, it'll be, close enough to horizontal that I can basically just kind of crawl around and, sit on it, stand on it and do the stuff. Although I'm still going to be nervous because I know how thin it is. Have you thought about pedal generators for the boats instead of mechanical drive? Well, I want to build a pedal generator just for my house to charge batteries and stuff. So when, there's a cloudy day and it's raining and I've got nothing to do, I can just pedal my thing and charge up the batteries a little. Not that I ever have nothing to do. But wait, no, the question we were just on, oh, you're looking at other questions. Okay, there's a problem with, the question is, have I thought about making a pedal generator to make electricity to run a boat instead of just doing it direct mechanical drive? Well, every time you do a change of energy, you lose some. So if I'm taking the mechanical energy, converting it to electrical energy,
Can you check the beans?
I'm going to lose some of the energy because nothing's 100% efficient. And then converting that back to mechanical energy, I'm going to lose some more energy. And if I run that through batteries, the batteries are going to, lose a bit of energy here and there. So every time you convert energy from one form to another form, you lose a little. So the fewer energy changes you can do, the better, the more efficient you'll be. So that's why, like on my boats, when I have a pedal drive, I've got pedals that turn a propeller or paddle wheel or whatever directly, not with anything in between. Can I sit with you?
Hold on, no, I think she's okay. Just check the beans. Sorry, so you were saying about the pedals?
Yeah, you want to, every time you convert energy from one form to another, you lose some efficiency, you lose some of the energy. So if you can do, I try to do things as directly as possible.
Awesome. Okay.
Oh, so making funny faces again.
Kelly Rafferty has asked a couple times. Maybe you can answer this question right here about how do you convert kilowatts, I think, power to horsepower?
Oh, Nancy thinks my concrete dragon scale sounds spectacular.
She does. We like Nancy. Okay. She's always so pleasant.
What was this?
It was about
how do you get it to show up?
It was about converting kilowatt power to horsepower.
How do you convert kilowatt power to horsepower? Like mathematically, like 768 watts is a horsepower?
Cool. I think that, yeah, I mean,
and a kilowatt is 1,000. So a kilowatt would be like 1.3 horsepower or something. Somewhere around there.
Okay.
When I was a well driller.
No, hold on. There was another question. Oh, wait, there was. Hold on.
Melting plastic to make dragon skin. I don't have enough plastic to melt down to make scales for my roof. The other problem is plastic degrades in the sun.
Let's answer this question.
Will I ever get a dog?
If we have one or if we'll ever get one.
We don't have a dog. I kind of want to get a dog at some point. I kind of feel like I need someone else at my house before I get a dog, though, like someone else permanently there.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes it's just me, and sometimes I'm just busy. Like I feel like I don't have enough attention for a dog. If I had a girlfriend or something, she was like hanging out, we could both have a dog. That would be cool.
I think go down and play with.
I think you could have a dog here because you already have lots of animals. You hang out with the animals all the time and stuff.
You don't want to go with Aurora. Okay, that's fine.
Wait, there's no, on the topic of a dog.
Yes, I think actually I was gonna say, could you go into animals because somebody else wanted to know about that for your island specifically.
Well, on my island, I want to get some animals, but first, before I get animals, I want to get like plants going, like a lot of food growing in plant form before I worry about animals. She's got loads of animals here anyway, so I'm going to worry about that later. I want to get plants going. But I just made this battery suitcase thing. I think I mentioned that in a previous video. And I don't know if I gave you that video yet, but I made this. Yeah, that's fine. So I have this big lithium battery with a handle and carry it around in a suitcase.
Airtrade's calling you.
And I was thinking I could put that on a little cart and give it a brain and make it like my little buddy. I'm thinking about doing that.
Robo-dog?
Yeah, just like a little robot that kind of strolls around my house. Because I've got this, made me think about it, I was squishing an ant that was like walking across my floor, and I was like, I could make a little robot that could just wander around.
Zap the ants with lasers?
Well, my first thought we could get them, but then I was like, nah, it has wheels. It's just going to run them over if it's just wandering around. And then if I made it some kind of easily upgradable interface where I can program it every now and then, times when I feel like programming something, because like I'll work on my video game every now and then, I could have this robot, and I can be like, hey, I'm gonna give him a little more personality, give him some more skills, and just over the years, just add things to this robot. Give him a camera, give him some image recognition, give him every time
Would
I
you
feel
make him
like
so he could talk to you?
oh yeah, and like he'd have like a screen with boobies on it, and be like, hey, what's up? Anyway.
How about hydropower from the tide around your islands?
The tide isn't that. It only goes up and down like 2 feet.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could do something with that if you had a big enough. I had actually thought about this. Like if you had
I feel like we talked about this.
Well, like your canal here, if we put a dam at the end of your canal and just blocked off any spots where the water can get in and out, you could run a little generator off it, but it
How would we keep
wouldn't be that much. I don't think it's that much power.
Stuff from like growing on it.
Well, that's the thing is it's not really worth the amount of power you get.
It always made me wonder how they did
better
that.
than it would be a lot easier to build a big windmill, and there's pretty reliable wind.
Right.
So yeah, before I was doing something with tide. Now, if we were on the Pacific side,
oh god,
the tides are like 2 stories. I mean, that's a totally different thing.
It's like you wake up one morning and your dock is like a mile away from your house. So, okay, somebody wants to know if you've ever read Project Hail Mary.
No.
Okay.
But that sounds like half of my life.
Have you been to Burning Man?
No, I've never been to Burning Man. I almost went one year. They offered me a free ticket if I'd bring a robot. And I was just like, oh, it's going to take so much effort to, like, I'm going to have to rent a truck, and it just wasn't worth it. And I had something else to do. But I also had a good friend who went to Burning Man every year. He was like, you gotta come. But I don't know.
I'm just looking for questions right now, so you keep talking.
I guess hydrofoil boat. Someone's asking about hydrofoil boat.
Yeah.
So that is something that keeps coming up in my brain. The problem with a hydrofoil boat is it's great when it's working, but like if I put a bunch of cargo in the boat, then it just becomes something that's in the way, and I have to have them retractable. And then I also have to make sure they're like perfectly clean. Maybe at some point when I kind of get all the utilitarian stuff done, I might play around with like just a little personal speeder hydrofoil boat thing. But at that point, I might want to build an airplane.
Yeah.
I have a lot of things I need to do before I get into stuff like that.
Yeah.
Before I do any of that, I'll probably build like a second giant robot. That's something I really want to do. Because my first giant robot, there was a lot left on the table, I feel like. Because I gained so many skills in doing that. By the time it was done, I was like, oh my gosh, I could build something like 20 times better if I start again.
Kite boat?
I don't know.
Isn't there a type of boat?
Yeah, I mean, you can have a kite pull you around. It's just when you get into complicated things like that, like it's hard to deal with if you're doing anything else. Like if I don't know.
Hold on, can I just say hi to my friend?
Too finicky, too complicated.
Hi, Dave.
Oh, it's Dave.
Okay, sorry.
What's Dave doing here?
Well, Daniel was at my live on Friday, so this is pretty funny. Dave, I heard your channel is doing really well, dude. That's awesome. At least I think Daniel was talking about your channel. So, Dave Wagenheim.
Are those rope straps structural? What rope straps? I'm not sure.
Rope straps. What rope straps? Are they talking about the ones that stick out from the pillars, maybe?
Well, all the ropes in the concrete of my building are structural.
Maybe that's
so
Carrie, you're gonna have to expand on your question a bit more because we're not sure what the rope straps you're talking about.
Laminate plastic bags to the roof of the can. Okay, so people keep coming up with ideas to plasticize the roof. And someone else mentioned here,
isn't a big reason,
plastic degrades in sunlight. Right. It is not going to last.
Well, also you were saying something about you didn't want to put anything on it that you couldn't also put concrete on at some point.
But when I do this dragon scale idea, for anyone who missed it, I want to do this thing where I'll smear a thing of mortar, then put a sheet of plastic, and then put like fishing net and another smear of mortar on top of that. And the fishing net will be like tied in, like stuck to the building. And then the plastic sheet will be under a layer of concrete. And the concrete on the surface will mostly just to protect the plastic under it. It'll protect it from mostly the sun, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically the sun. Yeah, the occasional branch or whatever, or mango that falls on my house isn't a big deal. It's just the sun degrades plastics, including paint, tar, anything like that is just going to be degraded by the sun.
I agree.
And eventually it's just going to crack. So
Come on.
I want the top surface to be something either metal or masonry. So I'm doing concrete because I don't have $1 million to buy a whole bunch of sheets of stainless steel. Would probably be the cheapest. Aluminum maybe.
So
anyway,
speaking of $1 million, if somebody gave you like $500,000 or something, like, would you do anything different than you're doing now?
Oh, the projects would just be like way crazier.
Yeah. Like, what's like the craziest project you think you would do with like $500,000 or?
Why $500,000? Is there something I need to know?
No, I would tell you. Don't worry, I would tell you.
I would build like a giant robot.
Yeah.
Like a giant robot.
How giant?
And that would be my house. Like I would build like
So you'd move off
an adventure builder cathedral, like giant.
How giant are we talking? Like Howl's Moving Castle
like
giant?
Like Howl's, basically I would build Howl's Moving Castle. For anyone who doesn't know, there's a movie called Howl's Moving Castle, which is also a book. But Studio Ghibli did a movie of it. And it wouldn't look like that, but that's the basic idea. Like build a giant robot. That's the first thing that comes to mind anyway, because that would be super cool. Car tires as roof tiles is...
Isn't it?
How do I
keep cutting those?
Well, no. A lot of the problem with
getting them.
Okay, car tires, clay tiles, anything like that. How do you attach them to a concrete roof?
Yeah.
Like I can attach mortar to the roof. So you gotta if you're gonna throw out a suggestion, it's got to be better than what I already said. So I'm just gonna say that. So if it's something that doesn't work as well as the dragon scales idea I said, then it's not actually, I mean, I don't know what to say then. Do I have fire ants?
No.
Not personally.
No. Well, Ken always likes to know about the plants and the animals in the area. So
are there?
No, not here, not on our islands.
Yeah, I've never seen any. They're probably somewhere around.
Acrobat ants, and they're such.
Acrobat ants? The ones that like stick to each other and make a big chain?
No, but the ants that are on my island are specifically called acrobat.
Okay, well, what do they do? That's acrobatic.
They sit up. No other ant apparently does that, but they like pull their abdomen up when they're like being threatened. Like stand on two legs. Yeah. And it's like I think it's their butt that they actually put up because they're going to sting you. But yeah, and they're called acrobat ants, and they are fun. So yeah. What do you want to talk about? Can you distill the plastic back into gas? I don't know. No, this question right here. Do you have all the shop equipment you want? If not, what are you planning to get? Okay. At my house, I'm currently missing two major pieces of equipment that are here, which is a lathe and a milling machine. I just haven't moved them yet. Because it weighs like 5,000 pounds. Well, yeah, and I want to make sure I want to have a really good spot to put them first. So, like right now, there's a sand pile in the house that I'm using to mortar the stuff, and I'm gonna get them over there eventually. I'm very excited to get those set up, but. Other things I'm missing, the first thing that comes to mind, which I want a lot, like it keeps coming up, is this thing known as a Beverly shear. Well, I think Beverly is a company, a brand that makes a really good version of this. It's like a metal cutting shear thing with a big handle, and you go. And you can slide your metal in and slide your metal. So is it like a giant pair of scissors? It's like metal? A giant pair of scissors for metal, except it cuts toward you. But yeah, basically it's just like a big metal shear. Cut your arm with that? If you really tried hard. Like, so it's not like something, it's like a manual thing. Yeah, it's like a thing. Totally... It's like a big scissor thing. And you pull a lever down and this thing goes, and then you push your metal in a little more. And you can hold your metal with one hand and just hold and you can make good cuts and they're straight and everything. Because right now, every time I need to cut sheet metal, I'm just using these stupid
little shears, and it's like the cut doesn't come out great, and it's a pain in the butt to do. Or I get an angle grinder out, which, will cut anything, but it kind of makes the mess, and it's, What about a parabolic half tube with a tube at the focal length to heat up water? Okay. I don't really need to heat up water because unless you're talking about like producing steam for an engine.
Talking about, because you were talking about making an energy battery thing.
Yeah.
And he was one that asked the question about that. So
okay, so this question is about making a parabolic cylinder with a tube of water, and the parabolic dish heats up the water to boil so you can run a steam engine kind of thing. It's maybe I'll want to do something with that at some point, but it's kind of complicated to make, and I can just stick a solar panel up somewhere and get electricity so easily, and they last a long time. Now, if the apocalypse comes and 50 years from now my solar panels stop working, then I'm going to be looking into more like mechanical ways of producing energy that I could do. Although, like I said before, probably the first thing I would try is just a big windmill, like make like the big windmills that they have on pictures of Denmark, the Netherlands, Holland. Yeah, somewhere they always have pictures of these big windmills.
Like tulips.
Yes, the tulips, and then a big brick windmill.
Okay, so let's see. Submarine?
I would love to build a submarine. I would love to build a submarine. But again, I'd probably build a giant robot before I build a submarine, probably.
We talked about this once, like a few years ago, I think, when we were talking about hobbit houses and that kind of thing, and how we were talking about
building an underwater house. You're talking about putting grass on the house. You changed topics. You didn't tell me.
Sorry, I thought you were.
Yeah, I actually do want to. I don't want to do grass on my current roof, because there's a gutter there, and the water coming off the grass is going to have all this dirt going into the gutter. It's going to clog it up all the time. However, I do want to do another building, maybe with the foam cement, the foamcrete, and put grass over it.
Is there a way that you could make it so you could use a gutter system with that?
Probably, but it's not. I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Like, there isn't any huge advantage to putting grass on the roof.
Right. Unless it was like an underground.
Unless I was getting overheated or something.
Right.
But the styrofoam insulates the house, so it's not a problem. But I do want to build another thing.
Yeah.
The problem is when you start growing stuff on your roof, if it has a leak or something, oh God, then you got to dig all the dirt out and like do all these repairs. So at that point, you kind of need like a big rubber membrane over it or something. I don't know. There's probably some good ways to fix it. Car tires also leach toxins. Yeah, that is true. So I don't want to do too much with car tires.
I'm going to skip that. Hold on. Oh, do you want to talk about that?
What? No.
Okay.
Oh, you could make different size rope rings to go around the dome. So I have 4 stainless steel cables going around the dome.
Yeah.
I also have ropes in the concrete, but when it was done, I wanted to have something just like you were saying, just to hold it together really strong, because the concrete is really strong in compression. So you can compress it really hard and it'll just hold it together. So I've got 4 stainless steel cables holding it together.
I want to come back to this, actually. I want to talk about this now because we're coming back from something we talked about last week, and I was asking you about how you make like tension strength or whatever in the concrete, and it brought me up to how do you add like strength, like okay, so there's tension strength and then there's a different
compressive strength.
So how do you add more compressive strength to like, or is that just
to concrete?
The shape of it? Yeah.
No, the concrete has incredibly high compressive strength.
Okay.
Like you can't just take a rock and crush it, right?
Right.
But you can break it because you can pull it apart.
So So when
So
you're building with
you would
it,
want to add tensile strength,
Okay.
not compressive strength.
so that's the only thing you have to worry about, like in terms of strength.
Yeah, as
things
long
with-
as you have decent concrete, it has really high compressive strength, something like thousands of pounds per square inch. So every square inch
Right.
of concrete can support thousands of pounds.
Right. And so on the dome right now, the thing that adds tensile strength to it is
On what dome?
on the
On my house?
cathedral, yeah.
Well, it doesn't really need much tensile strength, but there is fishing net.
Why?
Okay, it doesn't need a lot of tensile strength because the dome, well, at the bottom, it's held in.
Right.
And the dome is all in compression. So it's got
what is
weight.
it held in with?
It's got 2 steel cables at the bottom. Oh, what is your question?
No, I'm asking you my question. You're answering it.
Okay.
I'm asking for expansion on.
So I've got a dome roof on my house. We're back to the roof again. And I've got 2 stainless steel cables holding that from spreading apart. And then the roof on top, the weight would push it apart, right? So
Right.
it's got those 2 cables holding it in.
Okay.
But the dome itself, it's just in compression. Like there's nothing pulling it apart, right? Because gravity will push it down and hold it together.
So like if it sinks into the ground more, that just like it kind of is all gonna go at the same time, really, right?
Not necessarily. You're talking about like if one side's like if there's a spot that sinks and then like it cracks
what
open.
happens then?
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because you can't have so much tensile strength in your roof that it's holding up a section of your house.
Right.
Because that's just asking for trouble. Because if
Yeah.
it breaks at some point, it's gonna come off or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering. I didn't really have any agenda with that. I was just
Okay.
wondering if you could expand on it a bit more, just like for clarification.
Yeah, but and the thing is, like, in terms of my house, what would keep it in the right shape is more the walls
Right.
than the roof. Like if the no, I don't want to go on some stupid TV show.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
answer that in a complete sentence.
All right, so someone's asking if I want to go on some TV show, and I've just had enough of TV people. Like we've had 2 TV crews here, and both times it was just
Yeah.
irritating. And every year I get a bunch of emails from people, like TV production people, saying, "We're looking for a host for this show." I remember one year, like I got like a dozen people asking me if I would host some TV show or
Yeah.
come to LA, we'll fly you in and do some,
Pay your housing.
yeah, we'll pay for you to come and then, do an audition. We're making the next, what is it? The next,
reality
the next
or I don't know.
Mythbusters. No, one lady was all about the next
that's right.
Mythbusters. We want you to be the host and you're the next Mythbusters host and whatever. And I was like, well, do I have to live in LA? Well, of course, this is the place to be. And I was like, nah, I like it here.
But
And then that lady,
Yeah.
this was after a whole bunch of similar conversations, but this was kind of what just kind of like this straw that broke the camel's back. She said to me, "Why would you stay there and just barely scrape out an existence, doing nothing? LA and la 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 la." And I was like, "What are you talking about? I love, like, this is like, yeah." I was just like, "You don't get me at all." And then, so yeah, over the last few years, whenever I get a message from TV people, I just ignore it.
But I do want to say is that the ones that have gone really well are generally the like no-named like documentary type like individuals.
Well, there's
You've
that
had a
one
couple
time.
done- what was it? Oscar? What was the guy?
Well,
that
you're
did-
talking about just people.
Yeah, just like regular people that.
Yeah,
do
I'm
that,
not.
that
I don't want to
wanna,
go
like-
on any big production TV show, whatever. But like, if someone wanted to do, I don't know,
Like a
some video
interview or
thing,
documentary,
yeah,
yeah.
like.
Those always go really well.
Well,
I think that was,
remember
like, really nice.
Ryan Miller's, this guy Ryan Miller.
Guster.
Yeah, he's the lead singer of Guster,
We love
which
Ryan.
is a band.
He's so funny.
He made this show years ago. I don't think he's doing it anymore.
You guys could have been like twins almost.
Okay, now you're
Sorry.
cutting off every sentence. No, we were friends. We became friends.
Yeah.
So he made this show called Making Friends with Ryan Miller.
Yeah.
because he wanted to meet weird people in Vermont who were productive, you know, like the high functioning nerds is I think how he described it. I was like, yeah, okay, I get that. And I was in the first episode of that, and that was great. You know, he came and was like actually wanted to meet me and get to know me and learn about things. And I learned some stuff about him. Like we actually had real conversation, and then, you know, I still talk to him once in a while now. Like but like all the big TV production people, they come and they want to start fights. Like they want, okay, we gotta get Jaimie to fight. And I'm like, why don't you guys just come with me while I do my normal day? Some situation will come up. Like I'll be out in the water in a boat and something will go wrong and I have to do repairs on the spot. Or some tree will be falling on my house. Like something always comes up, you know? But they always just want to be like, you got to get in fights.
Somebody apparently would be very impressed if you created a force field to cover your island. What do you think about that? About creating? Oh, wait,
I think I have nice teeth. Is that what it said? Oh, I do have nice teeth. For a second, I was like,
nice teeth. Look at her nice teeth. What do you think about that? About
building a force field?
Well, not a force field per se, but like creating an artificial environment that you can control.
Oh, that sounds great.
I know, right?
I mean, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to control it too much, but it would be cool if I could be like, yeah. So.
Like 2 inches of rain.
Every time I hear something about this, it makes me think of what I originally wanted to do with my life before I started doing all this off-grid and, you know, philosophy stuff. Like what I originally developed new technologies, and one of them that I really wanted to try to figure out, which I may not have succeeded, but I would have figured out something along the way accidentally, was like anti-gravity. Like I wanted to like start working with, I don't know, magnetic field and like electricity, and just start doing experiments and try to figure out anti-gravity. Because when someone figures out the connection between gravity and electricity, like everything's going to change. You know, just like when someone figured out the connection between electricity and magnetism, it opened this huge world of like crazy, I mean, everything, all the technology we have today, this thing I'm looking at, this microphone, all this stuff happened because someone figured out that electricity and magnetism are connected in this certain way, and you can affect one with the other. And I wanted to work on things like figuring out how gravity can be affected by other things. But then as I got older, no, you find questions. Okay. And then as I got older, I was like, wait a minute. What we are doing with our technology is for the most part making our lives worse. So what am I going to make more technology, open all these doors just so we can use it to, you know, have more wars, or you create more propaganda to control people? Like we're just using all this technology, or so people can, you know, like people stare at their phones all day and that becomes their life.
Oh, I was just wiping something off your elbow.
What are you doing? And I didn't want to just create more technology that was going to be used poorly. And that's when I started going in the direction of thinking more about like coming up with a way to live that took advantage of technology in a more positive way, and coming up with, you know, philosophies of how to live and stuff like that. And that's what got me sent on my whole line of life that I'm going down now with the Adventure Builders Club and living off grid and trying to figure out how to create less garbage, or even take garbage and turn it back into useful things and stuff like that.
Okay, so a couple of commenters have been talking about clay.
Clay?
Yeah.
What about clay?
Clay roof tiles.
Clay roof tiles is...
Because they said that you mentioned something about finding a clay deposit on one of the islands, or
there's definitely clay around, and I've experimented with it a little bit. I have a clay cup downstairs that I need to fire. It's been there for years. It's dry, it's ready to go, but I'm like,
you gonna go eat?
Anyway,
you gonna go have raisins?
Clay tiles, I'm not sure how to attach them to the concrete roof in a way that's going to be satisfactory to me, because I don't want to put any holes in the concrete roof.
Oh, it's right here.
And here's the thing. I could come up with some way of connecting clay tiles to the concrete, but I don't think it's going to be any better than just making cement tiles. So I'm just going to do that. What was your other question? What else were you looking at?
Oh, sorry. Hold on, let me.
Look, I've been talking for over an hour already.
I was just jumped it. Okay, so this question keeps coming up, and I know we've been kind of...
Everything on TV is a lie. That's true, Dave. Dave knows what he's talking about. That was Dave Burrell. You know Dave. Dave Burrell.
Oh, Dave Burrell. Yeah, dude. Dave, what's up?
You have, that's what I told. Okay, this guy says you have your own TV show.
Yeah.
And that's what I ended up telling the lady who was trying to get me to go to LA and be on this show. I just told her, no, I have a show right now where I can do anything I want. And yeah, I don't get paid the amount they were going to pay me, but like any ideas I want to express, any projects I want to do,
you're not centered. I'm
not beholden to anyone.
Yeah.
I can try to put forth the message that I think is important. And that's what it really came down to. Whether or not I do a good job of it, I can try to do my best to do, to put out a good message. And man, all the stuff on TV is garbage message.
The projects you do are so cool. Do you publish plans or specs for the boats you designed? Or do you plan on doing that in the future?
Yeah, this comes back to what I was talking about earlier about wanting to build a new boat. So most of the boats, well, pretty much all the boats I've built so far, I'm just kind of using materials that are around, and a lot of times I'll end up using garbage or things that I've recycled from other projects and stuff like that. And if I were going to build a boat with plans, I would need to build it all with like store-bought materials, so I could tell people, okay, you buy this size thing and then cut it this way and do blah, 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 whatever. And I do want to do that. I want to build an aluminium boat, all with 4x8 sheets of stuff, riveted. I want to do it riveted. Hold on. And I don't want to weld anything. I want to rivet it all. Anyway, maybe at some point I'll do a fundraiser for that, and maybe people who want boat plans can chip into that, and I can build this boat that's all with store-bought materials.
Cool.
And I really want to do it, actually.
Aurora, can you turn the stove off?
Hello from Norway. Wait,
here's this question right here.
have you thought about modifying or building your own power supply? I
think they mean they said something earlier that you had talked about wanting to figure out how to make your own inverters or batteries or something. So I think that's what this is relating to.
I'm not sure what the question. Can someone elaborate on that?
Yeah, maybe elaborate a bit on that question.
Yeah, because my power supply right now is solar panels, and I do modifications and stuff. But
okay, so in the meantime, have you?
Oh, I think someone might have been saying use clay instead of.
Something's burning.
Use clay instead of sand. He might have been talking about in the concrete.
Okay.
So I understand that you can put some clay into concrete, and the clay will make it more waterproof.
You want to go play on the swing?
And I have done that.
No, don't pull that. You're gonna pull the whole thing over. Okay. Do you want to go play on the swing? You want to go play outside? You want to go play outside?
Oh, have I considered building hulls out of rigid foam?
No.
I've thought about it.
Okay.
The problem there is, if you hit a piece of, hit a rock or something, or if you're up against a dock, that would be the thing. Being up against the dock or anywhere that the foam is hitting stuff, the foam is just going to get chewed up, right? So if I were going to build a boat that had a foam thing, I would want to have fiberglass or some kind of hard surface on the outside. Or I could even do aluminum on the outside, which would be cool.
Yeah. What about, can we talk about what the update is on the gas toilet situation? 'Cause somebody asked.
I haven't done it.
Right, but we can talk about that it does produce gas for sure. Every time it gets clogged or somebody forgets to flush the toilet, when you do, it produces this smell.
Well,
of gas.
you can talk about that.
I don't really know that much about it though.
So a few years ago, I built this, what I call the fart machine. I got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old here who are laughing their heads off because I just said fart machine. So I built this fart machine. So Okay, stop. So, pee and poo and food waste and stuff goes into the fart machine and it gets digested and produces methane. And Dashaina says it's producing methane.
It definitely smells like it is, like not like poop smell. It's like
so
gas.
at some point we need to put a tube on that and turn it off and wait a little while and then turn it on, see if we can light it.
Yeah.
And I also have one of these built at my house.
Yeah.
And I haven't actually tested it yet.
And raisins?
But there's another product that this thing produces, which is fertilizer. So it gets this digested kind of stinky water out.
Right back.
And I've taken
fertilizer actually. So was asking
and I've taken a bucket of that stinky water out of the fart machine and put it on plants. And holy cow, my yucca is growing amazingly. So I've got 2 different areas where I have yucca planted. And the one where I put this, stinky water from the fart machine fertilizer, the plants are like twice as high as the other one. The leaves are huge and dark green. It's growing really well. I have potatoes growing there, and all the grass in that area is growing really well. So the fertilizer out of the fart machine is working really well. But I've not actually checked the methane on the one at my house or the one here, just because, I don't know, I guess I've just been doing other stuff. But I want to connect a tube on the one to my house soon and just, maybe it works amazingly well and I'm sitting here, cooking with wood and not even realizing what I'm missing. How much room do I have for crops? Wait, there's another question. Okay, let me just answer one question at a time. How much room do I have for crops? How much room do we have for crops, Dashaina? Like my
what?
How much room do we have for crops? I've got over 20 acres of land.
Yeah, we have a lot of space that we could actually farm.
What are you eating right now?
Oh, peanuts, sorry. Air trace stuff in my mouth.
So I've got one piece of land that's the biggest chunk of land. It's not an island of itself. It's on a bigger island. Dude, you gotta be quiet because we're talking. But that's like 20 something acres. So I've got lots of land. And on my island, I don't know, an acre and a half or so, couple acres. I'm not sure how much, but there's enough space to grow a bunch of food. I don't have it all planted yet.
Like if I didn't have so many animals, I could.
But the animals are at the bottom and they make the poop for the plants.
Yeah, I was gonna say is that if I didn't have so many animals or better fencing system for them, that I could probably do more in terms of on the ground stuff.
Oh, thanks, Blackwater boys.
Oh, that's Rolfie.
Rolfie?
Yep.
Like,
say hi, Rolfie.
Like Rolf, like from the Muppets?
Rolfie.
Okay.
He lives in New York.
Cool.
So, and he's very musically inclined.
Oh.
Like he plays musical instruments. Lots of.
Could we maybe see the farm island? I'll have to.
So
I've shown it before.
And it's not really an island. It's actually a property. It's like a parcel of land on a bigger island that we could never own in a million years.
Oh no,
it's huge.
That's like I don't know. It's like 10 miles this way and like 10 miles that way or something.
And Jaimie has shown it in a lot of his videos, like when he's been on the property.
Anytime I go cut wood with a chainsaw or collect water from a stream, that's on the farm.
The farm.
Yeah.
And we just call it the farm because eventually we want to make it like a place where there's like a community and like.
Well, no, originally I was growing a bunch of food there.
Oh, that's right.
And then it was going pretty well for like a year and a half, but then the neighbor behind has cows.
Yeah.
And once the cows got wind of all this food, they just.
And so eventually we have to put like a fence up, but I mean it's a huge property, so that's like a big project.
Maybe that would be a good project to do for like when people want to come help or something.
Yeah,
because that would be a multiple person project that would be useful. But I also, on the farm, I also want to build a campground. I've been thinking about. Yeah. And it wouldn't just be a campground. I was thinking like building little domes
with like that had the little domes on it.
Well, I was thinking like a campground, like people could come and rent a thing for some cheap thing and just stay.
But not for like tents. Like we were gonna make little like dome things for them, right?
I think I just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you cutting me off while I was saying it? So you
No,
could
I
tell
was
me
just
what I was saying.
asking if this was the thing that we talked about, like doing the little village.
Has anyone
setup.
been keeping score of how many cutoffs there are? No, don't keep score. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, can we not do that?
Because I'm totally going to win. And
I
then
just want to bring your attention to something that I think is really cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you might want to see things.
Someone sent.
No, that's
some
total.
Some people,
People
have sent $100. That's spectacular.
Yeah, like so far with you guys talking, I feel like oh my
Where
gosh,
does that
do you
even
know what
go?
it goes into your YouTube like.
And then we just
thing.
slide that into the bank, and then.
You know what? This
Cool,
just reminded
man. That's
me
so
of?
useful.
Do you remember those telethons?
Oh no.
That would go on for like hours.
One thing I never want to do is I never want to.
With the 800 number at the bottom.
Yeah. So some people have donated money while we're doing this, which I think is spectacular, and thank you so much. But one thing I never want to do is the telethon thing. Like, could we get another donation here? And can we? We've got this many we need to get by this many hours, and because I feel like that's not what people want to hear.
No, they don't.
So I also I never do that in my videos. I never say like and subscribe. It's just like, if you like this video, great. Do whatever you want.
Jerry Lewis telethon. Okay,
but I do very much appreciate.
Question. Skill Me Up says, considering the potential flood tide on your island, will you consider building a seawall along with your raised garden beds? The ones that you.
Oh, he's talking about the
area in front of your
low
house.
part in front of my house.
Yeah.
Seawall. I've thought about different things with a seawall. I mean, it would be nice if I could just have a grassy edge that just kind of takes care of itself. I'll have to see how it goes though, because if the ocean keeps going up or something, I might have to like build an actual wall, or maybe at some point, just to make it convenient to park boats and stuff, I'll want to build a seawall.
And you could have like the little things where you could tie the boat up to it. What are those called? Cleats?
Cleats. The little boat tires. Let's call them boat tires.
No, what did you remember?
Cleats.
A long time ago, Aurora did a little arts and craft video. You remember the tie-ups?
Yeah, the tie-offs.
Is that what they're tie-offs?
The tie-offs. But anyway, it's like right now the ground is good. It's not eroding into the ocean or anything. I parked the boats up to it. There's a big steel pole that I can tie the boats to. Everything's really, it'll just all be raised beds, and that'll be a higher ground level. So I won't have to worry about, the water coming in, because a little bit of that area does get flooded during the really high tides, which happen a few times a year.
Right, the king tides.
The king tides.
The spring tides. I don't know. It depends on who you're asking. I don't know, whatever.
The really high tides. But at some point, that land's going to be higher. I might want to build some kind of seawall.
Yeah.
But I've got some time to think about that first.
I've been thinking about it too, with the wharf.
Yeah. Well, the concrete wall around your island is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I just don't know how long it's going to last. Because concrete and seawater has some interaction that weakens the concrete. However, Roman concrete, and this is the thing.
Oh, somebody asked about that actually.
Yeah. So there's a big thing about how amazing Roman concrete is. And from what I understand, the big advantage to Roman concrete is when it's next to seawater. Normally it's not any better than the concrete we have today, from what I understand. It's just when it's next to seawater, the Roman concrete actually gets stronger because it has some beneficial reaction, but most concrete we have today weakens next to seawater. So maybe I can figure out how to get some ash, or can I make wood ash to put in it? I don't know enough about it.
Is it ash that they put in it, or was it like pumice or something? Like I feel like there was.
No, it's volcanic ash they put in it, and then it makes the concrete react with the seawater in a way that makes it stronger. And I don't know if I can use some kind of wood ash, or if there's something I can do. There are volcanoes.
Baru.
Not close enough that I can just go get it. And I wouldn't. Yeah. And I also wouldn't know how to get the ash because they haven't been active in a long time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. At some point, I'll probably look into something. Another idea is to just, stack up car tires. But as someone mentioned earlier, that leaches toxins like into the water and into the land. Yeah. So at some point, I'll probably want to get into a seawall, like if nothing else, to make a nice thing to park boats up against, so it's easy to load and unload without worrying about eroding the land. What?
Somebody's in love with
No, don't start getting into that. Don't encourage that.
Would you consider doing an all-day 4+ hour work stream on Twitch? It may bring your content to a new demographic. Do you know what Twitch is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never. I mean, I know what it is. I've never.
I don't know how you would do that.
Well, I saw
though.
Calvin on Twitch a couple times.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know how you would do that.
Well,
though,
I don't have internet at my
because you don't
house,
have internet at
so
your house. And you're
I
not
could-
spending 4 hours here.
yeah.
You could sew.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, do I want to get internet at my house? Like, we could get. This is something I have thought about a little bit. Like, we could get a repeater to bounce the
Right.
signal to my island. It's not that far.
Right.
The
Well, maybe
problem
like
is,
once in a while.
the problem is once I have the internet,
Oh, it's so addictive.
then it's like one of the things I love about my house right now is I wake up in the morning
And you don't check your email?
and I don't check my email. Yeah. I'm like, I wake up in the morning and like, what can I do? Like, what can I actually do in real life?
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I wonder if I got any messages overnight. Let me check. Nothing.
Or-
Oh, no, I got one. Oh, no, it's nothing.
Or how your
Let me check an hour
how your
later.
watch hours are going?
Yeah, let me check, it's really calming to not have that coming in, and it's really good for productivity, just not having the internet. Someone mentioned last week, they said, yes, turning the internet off is like the best thing for getting anything done.
Do you want to talk about this since we were talking about Roman stuff? I just want to say, skill me up. You're coming up with some good stuff, dude. This is great content.
Okay, yeah. What did they do someone's saying, what did they do in Mediterranean roofs, like the ancient...
How did they seal their roofs?
Yeah, how did they seal the roofs? Well, yeah, maybe I should look into that. On the internet, I don't have... I go on the internet when I'm here for like 20 minutes every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to, that would be interesting to look into.
Maybe I should start a section in my Discord that's about Jaimie research, even though I swore I wouldn't have anything about Jaimie in my Discord, but where people could put like research that they've spent a lot of time on.
Right. It would have to be research that actually spent time.
Yeah.
But not just like a million hours of watching YouTube videos.
No.
Like actual real research, getting to the real answer. That's something that's kind of becoming a lost art today. Because today, research has become, well, I looked on the internet and I spent 3 days looking at,
Oh, so you're going to build a volcano. Tom said, Lindgren said, build a volcano.
No, that's right. If I need Roman concrete, I can just drill a hole into the ground and build my own volcano. That would be much, wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, I think Ken's going. We'll say bye to Ken.
Adios, Ken.
Next project, make a volcano. Dustman's taken off. So let's see. Oh, you want to say thank you?
Peanut budget.
Peanut budget. Joel,
dude,
Eli,
he just sent us money for a peanut budget, and I was just talking about how we need to buy peanuts to grow some peanuts.
Yeah, and I found those wild jungle peanuts, which I think are going to be really cool. And this other kind that's like a
This guy wants to know who would win, Batman versus Jaimie. Dude, we would be bros. Oh my gosh, if I met Batman, even if we were in some conflict, if I actually met him, I'd be like, oh my gosh. Where did you get these motors? Do you manufacture them themselves? Wait, this steel cable, where did you get? Oh my gosh. How did you build this thing?
About research. He's referring to research.
Yeah. Okay. Someone was talking about research may involve reading books in a library. Yeah. That too. But also a lot of the best research I've done is getting a little bit of information from places and then trying stuff and seeing what works. One of the best sources of information I've found that has stuff that works the most often is old time stuff.
Yeah, it's
like
true.
Ancient stuff, because our whole world right now revolves around disposable. Like the economy runs on disposable everything. If disposable things stop, the economy grinds to a halt and everyone dies. Blah. But like in the past, people had to build things to last. So learning how people used to do things is really useful for trying to figure out how to do things long term.
I just want to say, Joe, I actually have been trying to work on trying to figure out how to get a moderator on Jaimie's thing, but there's an issue with it. So.
What's that?
Oh, I don't even know where to start. I
have too many trolls?
No, I can't. Like on my channel, I had to go on my laptop to do this.
Oh.
And since I didn't have a laptop functioning until recently, like I have to go on a laptop to do your thing too, because it doesn't accept it on my tablet, which is really annoying. But
and I'm not moderating.
No, Joe, definitely thank you for volunteering for that. And I am working on trying to get you into that so you can, moderate links and stuff like that.
When I first started doing my YouTube channel, I moderated it myself. But once it got over a certain number of people, it just wasn't.
Okay, wait. More importantly,
who's my
Enigmatic
favorite
wants
actor?
to know who's your favorite actor.
Well, the first person that comes to mind is Bruce Campbell. Yeah. Now he's done some terrible movies, but like he's done like 3 amazing movies, 3 or 4, I don't know.
Yeah,
he's done a few amazing movies. He's awesome in them. But I once wrote a letter to Bruce Campbell years ago, like a long time ago. And I said, hey, do you have any, what would you tell someone who's young and wants to be an actor, isn't sure what to do? What advice would you give him? And he sent me back a nice little headshot. And on the back it said, great question, Jaimie. My advice is to just act. Find anywhere you can do it. Don't worry about what it is. Just act anywhere you can. Do it. And that was one of the things that got me to get a camera and just start doing video stuff.
Yeah.
So thanks, Bruce Campbell, for getting me going there. The other person who comes to mind is Rutger Hauer. I think he died a few years ago.
Yeah.
But he did some amazing movies, and he's an awesome actor. Like, just in terms of like a really good actor, he's super good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He took a movie called Hobo with a Shotgun and actually made it interesting. But I wouldn't recommend that one. But actually, one of my favorite movies that he did was The Blood of Heroes, or Salute to the Juggers, depending on if you're in Europe or North America. And it was all post-apocalyptic, and it was about this ridiculous sport. But the thing I loved about it is these guys who were playing the sport had this impossible championship to win. I mean, I'm using the word championship very loosely here. But there was this game they couldn't possibly win, but they well, I don't want to give away the story.
Yeah, don't do it.
My favorite movies are when people come up against an impossible challenge, and then they're just like, let's set everything we've got against this challenge and do whatever we can. That's kind of what I wanted to show in my movie.
Yeah. True.
Although by the time I made the movie, I'd already done the thing, and I was like, oh, I know it's going to work out okay.
Did you remember the experiments you were doing with the electricity through wire screens in the ocean? How did that go?
Okay. This refers to an electrolysis experiment, and there's a bunch of stuff about this on the internet, where you take 2 electrodes, put them in the ocean, and one electrode is attached to maybe a wire mesh or some kind of wire thing that you want stuff to attach to, and then because of the different charges, stuff like minerals from the ocean would start accumulating on this wire mesh or whatever you're doing. Like seashell kind of stuff, like kind of concrete-y kind of stuff.
Like it's like attracting it?
Yeah, and over time, it just accumulates this hard, like durable coating. And some of the stuff on the internet makes it sound like it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And I've tried it here, and it hasn't worked very well. It worked a little, it really accumulated some stuff, but it wasn't that strong, and it stopped really quickly. Like it didn't accumulate a lot. And I've spoken with some other people actually in Panama who've done this experiment and tried to get it working, because it sounds like it would be amazing. Like if you could just build a wire frame under the water, attach electricity to it, and then it turns into like a solid seashell of whatever.
Awesome.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
It'd be like a clam shell without the
all the people I've spoken to in Panama and actually in the Caribbean have said it didn't really work very well. And I don't know if it's this area, like the seawater here, or if maybe it doesn't work anywhere, but I've only spoken to people like in this area.
Right.
So maybe some people in other parts of the world have got it going better or something, but it sounds like it would be a really cool thing.
Okay, so Jimmy Lindstrom apparently has a question, so go ahead and ask it. And we'll try
squished
to answer
meatball.
It.
I think I said something about Swedish meatballs.
What's your opinion about...
Bubba Hotep was a great movie. Bruce Campbell, yeah.
What's your opinion about megalithic type building construction geopolymer?
I don't know. I need more I need more information. I'm not sure what it's
Okay.
talking about. I have not been on the internet enough to know.
All right.
I would love to go back to ancient times and take some good technology.
Evil
No,
Cyborg Bob says, can building be purely mental and not physical, or do you think physical building is key to your philosophy?
Yeah, I think if he's talking about my philosophy, like adventure builder stuff, I think physical building is a big important part. I mean, maybe we could have a debate and you'd say, well, there's this circumstance where it doesn't matter. But, from my experience, like all the physical stuff, like this is why one of the virtues in the Adventure Builder Club is strength, health and all that is important. Mental stuff is important too. And like your brain is a physical thing that uses energy. And if you have good health and endurance, you can actually think better and stuff. Thanks, dude.
So thank you, Unprofessional Engineer, for your donation. We had a question about.
Oh, thank you very much too. I'm doing my best. I'm glad you're enjoying it. About seaweed, do you eat it?
Do you eat seaweed?
No, I haven't eaten any seaweed.
I've eaten seaweed.
I've tried a little nibble.
I love it. It's so good. The seaweed salad, not here though.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you have seaweed?
Actually, some of the seaweed out there, I think, is edible. I just don't really know enough about identifying it.
People grow seaweed.
Yeah, is growing it
by tying like something that floats to I think a piece of fishing line down to like a rock at the bottom or something, and then on that fishing line, seaweed will grow, and you pull it out and then take the seaweed off and eat it.
So if that seaweed's edible, then I imagine the stuff that's in the
go start munching on the bottom of the dock.
Oh, somebody just asked this question.
Am I expecting my house to sink over time? Yeah, I mean, it's the ground here is clay, which is kind of like a very thick liquid. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping my house will sink and it will compress the ground and become more stable over time. But I don't think it's gonna like sink like 20 years from now. I'll lose a story or anything. MBT. What's MBT? I don't know.
Okay, so skill me up. I have no idea what MBTI means, but I'd be happy to try to answer the question if you could.
Most bombastic thing.
How far out into the ocean have you gone in your boats? Danny, the quad, would like to know.
Well, the farthest, probably like 20 miles from here.
Yeah.
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 And then 20 miles back.
Like out into the ocean.
Well, I never just go out into the open water, but if I go that way, then it's all open water for like
a while.
Yeah, for a while.
All right, let's see.
But yeah, the farthest I've gone from home in a Briggs Myers type indicator. I
don't even know what that is. I mean, I know what it is, but not like enough that I could say something about it. I mean, I know it's a personality thing.
Thank you, Carol.
That's about it.
I'm so happy to have inspired you and improved your life in some way. That's great. That's actually my favorite message, is just like people saying, you've inspired me.
So,
because that's really cool. Because like it makes all this doing the videos totally worth it.
Okay, let's see what else we've got. Have you worked with aircrete before?
Oh, maybe the question, how far out into the ocean? The furthest from land I've been is probably about 7 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like from any land?
From any land, like just water.
When was that?
I'm going that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When you're out in the middle, and I've been in a storm there, and it was like
you're like, I'm gonna just
if this boat has a problem now, I'm swimming 7 miles in like big waves and wind, and it was actually
you'd be able to do it.
It was at night too. Oh yeah, I'm not dying. I'm making it.
Okay, so here, this is a good question. You had the radio playing. Enigmatic says you had the radio playing for the first time in a recent video. Do you usually work without music? And if so, what made you play music during that last video?
Yeah, I usually work without music unless I feel like it.
Well, unless the kids are over.
Well, what was the situation there? Was the kids are over, and Bellatrix said, hey, can you put on some music?
Yeah.
And I have old music, which is music that I
From like the 90s?
No, it's not that kind of old. It's just music that's been on my computer for a while. And then I got some new music, which is in a different folder, which is a bunch of techno that I got off a hard drive recently. So she'll be like, hey, can you put on some old music, or can you put on the new music? Or this one here is always like, play Mr. Roboto.
Yeah. Oh my
Domo
God.
arigato,
What was the other one she
Mr.
likes
Roboto. Oh, he'll listen to that like 100 times in a row.
Say things to Dave.
Ah, thanks, Dave. Man, Dave must be doing good. I shouldn't presume that.
No.
Thank you very much.
For the donation, Dave. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks just for being an awesome dude,
thanks for being
too.
awesome anyway.
Thanks for being a creator and a destroyer, and hopefully more creator and destroying the bad things and creating the good things. You remember his tattoos?
Yes, I totally do, because they were awesome. Oh, here we go. Astral Economics says, I think about buying a private island daily. This is the only goal I work towards. Where did that just go? Oh, at what age did you know you wanted an island, and can you compare to homesteading or city? Also, what did it cost you?
Okay.
And somebody else heard Bon Jovi.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be in the old music folder. Okay,
sorry.
Wait, what was the whole question
It was
again?
about buying an island, the cost of it.
Yeah.
Compare it to homesteading or city.
At what age did I know I wanted? I wanted to live on an island ever since I was a little kid. You know, like I would build little Lego island fortress hangout. My little Lego man would be there, and I'd go out in my giant robots and my boats and stuff. But I also want to live in a spaceship, and I still would love to. That would be awesome. But the age when I thought it was actually maybe a reasonable thing that I might actually do is probably like 20 something. Actually, you know, when I first moved off grid, I bought a mountain, and that was always my second choice. I was like, I want to live on a, well, not counting outer space. Not counting outer space. If I'm on Earth, I want to live on an island, and if I can't do that, I want to live maybe get a pedicure. Are my nails that bad? Thank you, though.
No, pedicures for your feet.
Oh. Actually, I have a pretty beat up toenail.
So thank you, Niken, for your donation just now.
Wait, what was my?
So we're talking about homesteading or city, and how old you were when you thought you wanted.
So I wanted to live on an island, and my second choice was on a mountain. So when I first moved off grid, I bought this piece of land that was basically a mountain, and after I'd been there a couple of years, and it was amazing. My first living off grid experience was so cool. But eventually I was like, you know, if I can do this, why can't I get an island? Like, it's not that much more ridiculous, right?
So I mean, my answer to you didn't spark that, right? You
I already wanted
before we talked about it.
What you're talking about, the first time I met Dashaina, I asked her some question about where she would want to live if she could live anywhere, and she said, I want to live on a planet with some ocean.
You said the universe. You asked me if I wanted to live anywhere in the universe. Yeah, where would I want to live?
And you answered the question.
No, you answered the question.
I want to have some walkways and some little huts on some boardwalks out in the ocean. Basically, you want to live on the ocean.
And hamsters.
And hamsters.
Do you remember the hamsters?
No. But you wanted to live like on an island, basically. Yeah. A little different than this, but not that different though. Your wharf, if it had a couple little huts on it.
Little huts on it.
Well, when you get the little huts, you've got everything.
Yeah.
But when she told me that, I was like, okay, here's a girl who actually maybe wants to live on an island.
And
that's why I was like, well, maybe I won't stop talking to her, you know.
Even though she's kind of
I didn't say it. Anyway, what did it cost? Okay, so when I moved to a mountain, that was pretty easy because there's lots of mountains. So you just have to buy a piece of land, look at it. It's like, well, that's basically a mountain. Islands are a lot harder to find, and
the price varies so much.
The price varies hugely.
Remember the place in the Bahamas? It was like
millions. I mean, if you have like $100 million to spend, you can get an island, no problem. But I would say it probably cost $50,000 in traveling and you know, staying places and travel. You know, all that stuff, several months, maybe like even a year to get here.
And that's not even buying the land.
No, this island, your island was $5,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, if we don't get anything else, we have this.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, even if we don't get any other land, there's this really nice bay here.
Yeah.
I can build some little floating houses and stuff, like make some floating islands. But then
And it was like bloop, bloop, bloop.
well, then other people in the area kept coming by and saying,
Crazy.
do you want to buy this island that nobody wants or cares about? And I'm like,
We're like,
what do you want? What are you talking about? Nobody wants it. I want it. But of course, I couldn't say that. I was
No.
like,
Serious face.
well,
Consider it.
well, I guess I'll go take a look at it. Oh my gosh, look where you said it. Oh, it looks like an all right place. Well, what do you want for it? $5,000? They only want $5,000. Oh my God. Oh, I guess I could swing that.
Okay, so somebody. Oh wait, no, and they also wanted to.
Yeah, what was the other
about
part of the
homestead
question?
versus city
Okay.
setting, I think.
Homestead versus living in a city. The difference is just, I could not, like, I love waking up in the morning. And this is what it really boils down to. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what thing am I going to do to make my world better today? That's what homesteading is to me. Because like every day you get to like, just figure out what to do. Am I gonna, build a house? I'm gonna make a new vehicle. What to do? What not to do? Am I gonna go plant some? Yesterday I planted an avocado tree, and I'm so excited about it because like 5 years from now or 8 years from now, I'm gonna get avocados out of it. And like every day I can do stuff like that. But living in a city, it's like, okay, I've woken up. Now I need to go to work, And even when I had my own little businesses and stuff going, but it was always like, I can make money. That's what I can do to make my life better. I can make money and buy something. That was city life. But here, the money, like everything doesn't have to be funneled through money. I can just directly do things. Yeah. I can take my bare hands and go out to some dirt and turn the dirt into something else. Right. And I can make a shovel and make that a lot easier.
Okay, I do want to say is I do see there's a
My
few
side
questions.
of the mountain, that was a great book.
I do see there's a few questions for me, which I'm not ignoring them, but I'll come back to them.
Yeah, answer them. We only have like 7 minutes left. Do you have some you can answer quickly? Or?
I don't know. What I was going to say is that I will come back through the comments later this evening and over the week, and I'll probably do something on my channel about questions that are being asked directly to me.
Anarchy Television says he would be totally set if he had a lightsaber and a TARDIS. That would be pretty sweet.
So, here we go. Any cool treasures on the island? And
there was an old clock, so I got a bunch of like old brass parts that weren't disintegrated. Oh, there's always shoes. You find shoes out in the ocean because people, Crocs are made out of foam that floats. So floating
through the water.
Like every week or so, I'll come across a nice looking shoe just floating around in the ocean.
The left one.
No, we've got some matching, not matching enough where you'd be like, oh, you bought those, but like matching enough that they'll fit both your feet. Yeah. Like Car Canyon has.
He actually has one on right now.
Has both on.
He has both on.
But they're different.
Look, we found this in the ocean.
That's the worst one. The other one looks much better.
The bottom's really good. Like,
anyway,
holes in it.
What were we talking about?
Okay, right.
What was your question?
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't matter. We were talking about treasures.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I haven't found anything real good. And I've done a lot of digging. And like your island and my island are like 99.99% like pure clay. Like no rocks.
I don't know pure clay, but
well, when I dug out my house, and that was like months of digging, like a lot of digging. Like I dug out a huge area. I got enough rocks that I could hold in my hands. And that was it.
Do you want to answer that question? I think we should skip it. Instead of building a giant robot, how about building a homemade backhoe shovel to help clear land, canals, gardens?
Well, why do I have to do one or the other?
Oh, I think it means a combination thing.
Oh, well, if I
like
build a giant robot, it could be like a moving dirt kind of machine. Yeah,
that'd be cool. Do you barter or trade with locals?
Some, yeah.
Do you want to talk about how we don't have hurricanes here?
There's no hurricanes here.
It gets that brought up a lot. So, so let's see.
The last hurricane that hit Panama was in 1960.
Yeah, and it was
something.
and it wasn't even here. It was like on the mainland.
Yeah, it was.
Where is the mighty shark slicer?
Oh, it's at my house. I need to. Well, I just did a tune-up on the zombie chopper. No, I just did a tune-up on the zombie chopper, so the shark slicer will be next soon. I'll get the barnacles off it.
Send me some goats.
Cool.
Are you gonna bring them? Do you have? I didn't mean to cut you off. So anyway, we're talking about the boat. So what is it doing? It just needs barnacles cleared off of it?
Oh yeah, the shark slicer. Yeah, I need to get the barnacles off and just do a tune-up. Just go through it,
So it's still usable.
Yeah, I mean, I used it like a few months ago to move something big. The floorboards, the wood.
The one that got right in the crotch.
I need to replace a bunch of those. And yeah, I just want to go through it, take everything apart. I actually kind of want to modify it. I want to change the roof. So I think when I get to this shark slicer, which is my biggest boat, I want to like really renovate it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing that has been brought up a few times, and it's about the avocados being planted from seed.
What about them?
Well, apparently there's a rumor going around that you can't plant avocados from seed because the avocados that come from them, the fruit, taste terrible. But I think that's
where do avocados come from?
Well, I mean, it's strange because I don't think any locals here have actually on purpose grafted any avocados, and there's a bunch of them growing. Wait. Here.
Have you had an avocado that was terrible?
No, that's what I'm saying. The avocados are terrible.
I mean,
is my point.
And we've had avocados that are just like falling off trees, that are just like
that the trees were not.
Nobody was grafting. Yeah, people were just
seed.
I'm fairly confident that the avocados I've planted will come out so buttery and delicious. Those avocados were so good. So there's a variety of local avocado that is so good, and they seem to grow like crazy because the kid we got them from, he would just bring
avocados.
He just brought buckets of them.
And I'm pretty sure they weren't transplanting or grafting trees. Like I'm pretty sure
grow
they came from seeds.
Oh yeah, they're not doing any of that fancy stuff. And those seeds grow super easily.
Tom can back this up. Tom says that that's not really true. I've grown avocados that are great, but not exactly like the original. It sounds kind of like apples.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be some variation. Thank you, Mr. Landfill, for answering. Oh, apparently Joe says I've had 646 cutoffs and Jaimie has had 0.
Oh, you are such a biatch.
Yeah.
I think he may have been slightly biased. Well, wait, yeah. I'm going to cut you. Go ahead.
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna cut you off.
Unsubscribe. I'm unsubscribing.
Manifestation, not mental festation. I think there's a conversation going on here that I don't know.
How much does it cost you to build, and how long? Should I learn how to build one before buying my own island, Belize Island or Bahama Islands, which is better?
Building aircrete versus earthcrete domes. I've never built an earthcrete dome. I guess that's like mixing dirt with cement.
Oh.
Supposedly you can
floor once a subfloor.
Supposedly you can do that if you compress it really well. Yeah. But I don't know. I've never. The reason I did the styrocrete was because I kept finding styrofoam in the ocean, and I had this big pile of styrofoam that I'd pulled out of the ocean.
Oh.
And then I was like, there's tons of styrofoam, so I just started asking people for the styrofoam. And anytime I can turn something from garbage to something like long-term useful, I think it's a good thing. My adventure builder philosophy tells me it's good. Go ahead.
I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question about.
I love how you are resisting cutting me off.
So we were going to mention the monetization thing.
Oh yeah, there's some. Yeah, people had a bunch of questions about my videos. Still had ads on them, even though I turned off the monetization.
Do you want to talk about the thing with YouTube?
Well, I'll just get into that real quick. So I wasn't really making any money on YouTube just because
Bye, skills me up.
I refused to put the
Thanks for making
video, so I was getting like basically nothing. So I turned off the ads on YouTube, and then they started having more ads. And then Dashaina looked it up, and apparently a couple years ago they said if your videos are not monetized, they can just put ads on your videos whenever they feel like. So
even
I was
if
like,
they are monetized, they can do it. Like I mean,
Seriously?
even if you're in the partner program
Yeah.
and you don't, like, let's say you choose to not monetize some videos,
Yeah, they can
still
just
put ads
slap it on there.
and
So
you won't get paid for them.
So I was like, fine, turn the monetization back on, and we'll just put the minimum advertisements on.
But then there was a lot of really cool stuff that he discovered that YouTube had added to their monetization thing, and that was this cool super chats thing where people could participate in it. Like,
I have no idea how this works or anything, but people have donated money during this chat, which is spectacular and amazing. Thank you.
And the other thing I wanted to make sure that we talked about was that now it also allows us to tie Jaimie's store, like the Spreadshirt store is actually on his channel now. At the very top, you scroll over and it says merchandise, and you can go right to his store instead of having to go to a separate link. So they've added a few cool features.
Yeah, there's some cool shirts on there. Yeah. Someone came to visit and he was wearing one of the shirts. I was impressed. Those are some nice shirts. Because I always spray paint my own shirts. Like right here, I've got Adventure Builder, or actually I don't even spray paint them usually. I just
roller paint with that cool.
Well, I'll get like a sponge or my finger or something. Unless it's a big one, then I'll. But
so I think.
But another thing that I sell, I don't even know if it's on the links anymore. But on Shapeways, the metal rings, those are like my favorite things.
That link. I'll have to add it to the description.
I'll have to put that on there.
You give me the link.
Yeah.
I definitely don't.
Because they're little metal rings with all the Adventure Builder symbols on them, and they're 3D printed. Last I checked, they were like $10 for a brass one.
Yep.
I got a brass one. It's really nice.
Yeah, they are really nice.
Yeah. I don't make any money off those or anything.
Okay, so let's talk about the wood construction and why we avoid it. It's super easy answer.
Okay, someone's asking about the cost of things in Panama versus other places. In Panama, they use US dollars, so there's no exchange rate.
No exchange rate. And it's basically the same cost, I would say, too.
And in that question was also something about cheap islands. The reason we got this island cheap is because we lived here for a year and met people. Like, we were here for a year before we got a cheap island.
Because the first one was so ridiculous.
When we first got here, it's like $50,000 for this 4 square foot piece of submerged coral. And it wasn't until, like, if you want to buy an island somewhere and you don't have a ton of money, go live in that place for a year and get to meet people. And that's how you're going to get the best deal. And nothing's guaranteed, and that's kind of the trade-off. Like, you're not guaranteed anything, but you got to take your chances. There's no guarantees in life, man. Termites suck.
Well, they were answering the wood question. Are you improving your Spanish?
Oh, the question, why don't build everything with wood? Yeah, termites. Basically, that's
the end. Termites and mold. Yeah. Actually, like, those are the two biggest.
Termites, though.
Termites is the worst.
But I mean, even with mold, like 10-year-old wood is just like you have to rebuild it all.
It's gross.
I would rather spend 10 times as the amount of time building something with concrete, and then it's not gonna disintegrate,
Yeah. So
even if it cracks, I can, fix cracks and stuff, but I don't have to like replace the entire rotted thing.
Okay, so that's a good question, because let's end it though with that. But hold on, because I want to ask you this question right here about ignoring the ending part, because that's irrelevant.
Spanish?
Yeah. How are you doing on improving your Spanish?
Well, my Spanish was getting pretty good, and then the pandemic came, and then the lockdowns, and then I talked to people less. But I mean, es no perfecto, es no bien, pero es suficiente. Mi español es funciona. My Spanish functions, but I sound like an idiot, and I know that, and it's fine.
No, you just sound like a gringo. It's okay.
I sound like an idiot. Okay,
I don't think you sound any worse than any other gringos.
My Spanish sounds like if I were to say, I'm going to take my dog to the store. I is having dog store go. Yeah. Like, that's what it's basically, And I have to do some hand motions to make sure. I is having dog store go. Like, I can communicate. Maybe it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. You're not that bad.
It's not spectacular.
No.
I'm not going to write any poetry. Maybe I should.
Well, maybe you should do a whole.
Dude, I'm not writing poetry in English.
Okay, so with that, we're gonna bring this to a close. Wait, we have one more question. We have 2 more questions actually to answer. When I buy a private island, what's the best way to school my future kids homeschool? And there's so many options online for it.
I would homeschool in any situation. Yeah. Because I am not down with the schools that are, the indoctrination camps they've got going on. Oh,
And I just want to comment on the Duolingo thing. Actually, there's so many other better programs out there that, and some that I'm part of that you can get through the library that are way better than Duolingo. Not to say Duolingo is garbage, but I would say if you actually really want to learn Spanish, there's a few options that are through the library. And yeah, so.
Yeah, they don't care
No,
if your
it's
Spanish
true.
is bad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, actually,
true.
I've always noticed that if you go to a foreign country where you don't speak the language, as long as you're trying to do your best, people are generally pretty cool about it.
Okay, so yeah, and Fantastic Calamity, just to further on that. So if you check with your local library, at least the ones in some of the states do this,
Look.
they offer free access to the Rosetta Stone app, which is actually really good. And some of them even do online courses that are free. Like there's one through the Gale system that does, they do 3 levels of speed Spanish that are 6 to 8 weeks long each, and they're really well done. And there's actually an instructor involved who can answer your questions, and they're not live. They're all like things that you can do at your own pace. So just to answer the last
Well,
question,
I just want to say thank you for liking my movie and watching it and being inspired. That makes it totally worth making. I'm great. Thank you.
So yeah, so to bring this to a close, guys, we do plan on doing these every Sunday as of right now at around 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm thinking kind of tentatively. It's gone so far. It's might just become a thing.
We have contemplated switching whose channel it gets presented on, maybe. But you know, I don't know.
Well, we can do one on your channel too,
maybe
if you
we'll
want.
try mine next week or something. So,
well, I kind of feel like if I'm going to do it regularly, I should do it on my channel regularly. We can do one on your channel too. Turn your channel on, quick.
It doesn't work that way.
All right.
All right. So, guys, thank you so much for all of your support.
Thanks for being awesome.
Asking
I enjoy
questions.
this so much more than reading comments.
Yeah.
Like, this is 1,000 times better.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. This is actually cool. Okay.
So we're going to say bye. And I will go through the comments later and try to catch up with things that we...
yeah.
Wow, your hands are so...
Oh, shut up. All right. Turn the thing off. Bye.
Bye.